I'm Morgan Carroll, and for my tool tonight, I'm going to be doing Newslia.
Hi, I'm Rachel Silva, and for my tool tonight, I'm going to be talking about spritz.
Hi, I'm Jenny, and I'll be talking about Formule and Paper LI.
And I'm Sammy, and I'll be talking about thinkport.org.
All right. So for my tool, I did Newslia, which is pretty much a website based on article reading, and so I'm going to pull it up for you right now. Can you see that?
Yes. I'm not seeing anything.
Hold on, let's see.
I'm getting a black screen.
Well, I guess it's not going to work. That's okay. So the way that the site really works. What?
It's up now.
Okay, perfect. So the way that this site works is it gives you different articles, but what's really cool about this site is it allows you to look at the article at multiple different reading and grade levels. So if you see this article right here, over in this right-hand side, there's this blue bar, and it lets you either bring up or bring down the reading level. So right now it's on 1030L, which is grade level of 7, and it gives you a word count of 850. Now if you were to bring it down to 860L, simply by just clicking on the box, once it loads up there, it's going to bring you down to a grade level of 5 and a word count of 642. And if you noticed, even the title just changed. So what it does, it'll change the way that the article is written, and it'll still give you the same point of view and the same ideas, but just in a simpler or more complex way of writing, so that you can have the same type of articles for many different reading levels. So see, once again, I brought the level down and the text changed. Now what I think is really useful about this is when you're using it in a classroom, even for the same grade level of class, not all students are going to be on the same reading level, so you can have them all read about the same thing, but adjust the reading level to their max capacity. What's also really cool about this site is they have a lot of articles in Spanish, which would be really, really great for ELL students or students who don't necessarily speak English as their first language. Now, a couple other cool things that you can do with this site, otherwise of just reading the articles, is if you sign up for the teacher account, you can create different text sets, which is right here. Now, there's already going to be some text sets that you could click on, so science, literature, social studies, but you can create your own right here on your text sets, and I'm not going to click on it because I don't want it to freeze up. But the way that that works is you can title it, so you could title it Class A, and you can put in all the different articles that go into that set, and then your students, once they sign up for Newslia, will be able to access those same articles within the text set. So if you were doing a lesson on maybe animal rights, you could add all the different articles you want them to read or that are going to be throughout the lesson so that they're all easy accessible in one spot. Now the other thing that you can do with this is you can create the articles into more of an interactive lesson. So with this button, there's write and quiz. So you can even write out your own questions. It even gives you default questions. So you can write out questions and even have a quiz for the students to complete after reading the article. And the site will actually give you, just like it gives you default write questions, it'll give you default quiz questions. Once that pulls up, it even gives you questions here. And since I'm the teacher, it's showing me the correct answer, but it wouldn't show that for the students. And you can have the students go through and answer these questions, and then you can look back once you click onto your profile and see student responses. And that helps you kind of gauge their comprehension and make sure that they're really understanding what they're reading. So that's pretty much, it's a very simple site. It's very easy to use. And I think it's it took a lot of simple things and made it very useful for the classroom. And what I really do enjoy is the multiple levels you can achieve with the same article, because with many students being on different levels, it's easily accessible for everyone in the class. So yeah, that's what we got.
Okay. So does it allow you to go into other languages besides Spanish, or is it just set up for Spanish at this point?
From what I could see, it was just Spanish, but who knows? Like you said, it could expand. It could go from other more popular languages. But with Spanish being the most popular right now in schools, I think that's why they included the Spanish set.
Okay.
That's interesting. This seems like a great way to work on social studies and other topics for in the classroom. No matter what grade you are, you can pretty much cover all of the major events now.
Oh yeah, it definitely gives you a really good connection, interdisciplinary. You can take language arts and expand it to science and social studies, or do the reverse and be in social studies reading about topics that relate. It's really good for that interdisciplinary work.
I love the quizzes you can make too. That's great.
Yeah, no, I like that too.
Did you have fun writing out some of the questions that you chose for the article?
Yeah, it reminded me of a lot of the other things we've looked at where that you can do the quizzes and it creates it for you. It has that same type of thing. So I thought that was super useful because obviously like time's not something we always have on our hand. So having it already produce like on level questions for you to help with comprehension, I thought that was really useful.
Yeah, I like that it asks us questions. I feel like this would be a great for if you were to have the kids do like current events for homework instead of having them have to go find a newspaper or something. You could do it like this, and they could respond right in the browser. Not have to worry about printing anything out or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have the next tool, and I did Formule. It's an online form builder, and so it lets you build any kind of form that you would need for collecting data, and you can put it all online. It only takes a couple of minutes, and the website lets you sign up for free, or they offer different plans that give you different options from what you can start with. Like the lowest plan they have is $9 a month if you don't do the free one. So they accept payments online, and you can create these forms within just a couple of minutes, and they take care of creating the databases and the scripts for you so you don't have to do it yourself. So all you need is the internet for it to work, and it does it right for you. And the website even offers a tutorial that teaches you how to use it. It's a really simple site. That's really all there is to it. It just lets you organize different forms. Like one example they gave was that you could put on different statistics, you could create reports, you give your staff access. If you're working a business, you could give your staff access and they can all create different forms as well. So it's really easy and simple.
See, when you said that you could like open it up to your staff, I thought that would be really great like for like school-wide testing. So like if all the like first grade classes are taking the same test, you can all put your data in the same place, and it kind of lays it out right there for all the teachers to access. So that's really cool.
It makes everything super easy. It does most of the work for you. So really all you have to do is sign up and log on and get it done.
Wow.
Cool. It seems like a great time saver for all of the forms we'll have to make and all of the data that we'll get through the year.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be good for writing, like keeping track of student grades throughout the year and seeing progress that way.
Yeah, it's everything here. They give you like help with what you need. Like if you tell them what you want to use it for, they have different templates on there.
Now, can you outside access the forms for having them filled out by, say, like the parents, and have the data come back into a database used that could be accessed by administration, instead of sending out the multitudes of packets that we do at the beginning of the year with parent signatures? Send it out online, have them fill out an e-signature, and then just have it through there instead of wasting a whole bunch of paper.
I haven't seen anything like that yet because from what I've seen, you log on and create your own. I'm sure you can share it with other people, but I don't know if then they are allowed to edit it and send it back to you. But I'm sure they could maybe print it out and then like scan it into their computer and email it back to you. Yep. But that's pretty much it. It's really simple and basic to use.
Cool. All right. And then I guess I'll talk a little bit about what I researched. I looked up Spritz on spritzlet.com. It's a really cool way to speed read on any browser that you're looking at. Here, I'll see if I'll pull up the page. Here. All right. So if you look on the page, it's really simple to download. You just click here and it downloads it. I already have it downloaded. You can also just drag this little box up here and it'll make a bookmark.
Oh, wow.
Got it? So I'll just pull that up. And then when you click the bookmark, one of these little windows pops up and it puts all of the text on the page into one of these little boxes. And these are called reticles. And the interesting thing about this tool is that you can use it to read any website or news article, anything online really quickly, and you'll be able to comprehend it and unmaster how to use this tool in usually less than 5 minutes, they say. And according to the website, after just a month, you'll have full understanding of it. So if I wanted to, say, read this article on Newsella, I would highlight what I wanted to read, and then I just click on the little bookmark, and it's pulling it all up for me. And it's neat because it focuses around this one spot in the word, this red letter, and they called this the optimal recognition point, because when we read, when we look at words, we're apparently not actually reading each part of the word. We look for one feature of it and then work around from there. And they found that if they center this feature, then we can read this whole passage without having to move our eyes, which is what saves time. And you can change how fast it reads as you get better. And you can go start really slow, like for children if they want it to read faster also, and then work all the way up to 450. And then, of course, if you become a member, you can get even higher, all the way to 1,000 words per minute or 40 words per minute as needed. They have a bunch of this tool actually is also built into a lot of apps already, like on Android and the Apple Store, which is neat. So you can use it in a lot of e-reading books if you have that as maybe a literacy center, like an online library in your classroom. I could see this working really well for, personally as a teacher, I know we're going to have to read a lot of things throughout the day just before we give it to our students, and this would be a great way to streamline that process so you can read several articles and find out which ones would be appropriate for all of your students quickly.
Now, for this platform, could you take books you have in your classroom library and write out the text and put it in a Google Doc and then use the spreads list, use it and maybe elevate it for like AR and fluency testing?
You can definitely do that. Anything you put online, so if I were to make a Google Doc right now and type out a book, I could use that for, and I could read it through this tool. And they say that even comprehension is equal to reading normally.
Wow. That would definitely benefit the students I have that have to do the multitudes of AR testing.
Yeah. It'd be a great way to just streamline the process, save time, and get to, that way you can focus more on what they're reading, the content, and other areas in the classroom.
Yeah, I like how you mentioned like how useful it would be for us, but also for students, because I know a big part of fluency is being able to read at a good pace. So for younger students, kind of starting at that low word per minute and kind of building them up using this process can really like help them, because then even when they go back to regularly structured tests, they're going to be used to reading and comprehending at that speed.
Yeah, definitely. And I've done some research. I looked around on the website to find out if kids are using this, and the developers of this tool say that their kids use it and they love it and that they find it very convenient for their day-to-day lives.
Wow.
Do you, to sign up to be a member, is it a free membership or do you have to pay so often? Are you sure?
It says it's free. I'm not sure if there is something later on or something deeper within it that you'll have to pay for, but they say that the membership is completely free, though you can, it just gives you greater access to the website, and without even getting the membership, you can still download the tool. And I believe what they're looking for is if you become a member, they'll ask you to make some sort of donation at some point, but you can click out of that.
Great. Okay, and my next tool that I did was Paper.li. So it's a website that lets you collect, publish, and share content online. So it helps you grow an audience to share content to and make new contacts. It's really good for businesses, and like if you want to publish content and you want a lot of people to see it. So they give you access to articles and different media content and blog posts. They even said that they process more than 250 million social media posts every single day. Every day they get that many.
Wow.
They said they find out content on your subject automatically for you. You type in your subject, they'll search for you, or you can even add in your own sources if you want to do that, like put in your own. And the website prioritizes the sources that gives you like the highest ones which relate to your content most to the ones that don't. So it starts off with the one that's most related to your topic. And they have sources from Google+, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. They said from RRS, so anytime you look for content, it's pulling off some of those sites. And it even lets you customize a schedule of how often your content goes up. So you can make a schedule saying you want your content to go up every day or like once a month or like if you want it to be almost like a newsletter where it goes out every so often to people. And it allows you to promote your information by sending out your own post on social media. So you get the information from social media, and then when you make your own, you can post it back onto social media. And the website also has a gallery that includes a bunch of different tools on there. Like they have something called Bookmarklet that's an add-on to your browser, so it lets you get the content straight from your web. So if you're searching on the internet and you find a site that you want to use, you can use the bookmarker to pull it over there and say you want to save it later to use for something for your content. And then there's another tool that it has that's called Editor's Notes, and you can type in some information about yourself. Like you can put in your contact information or just a little bit about who you are and what you're doing. So it's a great source. There's so much you can do with it, and it gives you a lot of freedom, but at the same time, it offers a lot for you too. And that's it.
Wow.
That's interesting. I like that you can schedule when content is sent out. So you could, like, if you were to have a class Twitter account, would you be able to? Is that one of the things that you mentioned?
Yeah, you can get information uploaded onto Twitter and put it all into one place, and then you can send it out again through there. Like if you find, say, someone's tweet that you really like and you want to upload it onto your own, you can send it out as in like a post that you can show to whoever you want.
Cool. I feel like that would be a really great way to like send out reminders and like events to parents and students at home. Like if you could write them all one day, but like schedule them to go out a different day.
Yeah, you could plan ahead like as far as you want.
I could definitely see that being worked as like homework or field trip reminders and stuff, or when things are like going on at schools, like an assembly.
Mm-hmm.
Sending out like a little information blurb like, oh, we're having this presenter come in, you're welcome to join the class and learn a bit more about this subject. I think that's a very interesting platform kind of to use for the classroom.
See, I was thinking a lot towards like opinions too, like with hot subjects, like if you're talking about something in class that maybe is like controversial, being able to put that in as like what your topic is and find out like what people are saying about it. You know, you'd get a lot of different opinions from a lot of different people.
Right, it
that could
pulls
be
from
really
so
cool.
many sources, so you
Yeah.
get to see a lot of people's opinions.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
All right. So I have ThinkPort, and ThinkPort is a website that has a whole bunch of different applications centered for Maryland teachers. And it's very much for them. Now, if you look through it on the opening page, it has things like little interactives, media ones. You can sign up for a newsletter, the Facebook account. They even have a Pinterest tab, so that's really interesting to look through. If you go under the Think K-12 Classroom, they have a tab called Interactive Tools, and it gives different tools that they can use. You could create your own museum, and you could segment the different galleries and things like that. For annotations done, you can also go through that. One of the things I liked is the timeline builder application that they highlight. I think that's really important to do for like history and social studies. And there's also other ones like you could do a website as well. Now another one that I looked at that I really liked was the lessons. And it also gives example lesson plans that you can use. And you could it has student activities, links to the Library of Congress, and with the lesson plans, they do vary from grade levels as well as content and standards. And then there's also the project builder. Now, if you go to the career tab, one of the things that I really liked was the new teacher support. And if you go there, it's discussion topics, Maryland Teacher of the Year, and then there's things like planning back to school nights, going through classroom management, reading strategies, things like that, all stuff that could really help first-year teachers. Under Think Early Childhood, I liked the tab about professional development, going through Maryland MSD child care training, state national courses, and other resources. And lastly, under the Think Family and Community, They have classroom websites, financial literacy, and online field trips. I think the online field trips is a really interesting thing because you can do them both in school itself, or if you're a homeschool parent, you can use these if you don't have the funds to, say, travel to New York for an activity. You can do a mini field trip about the history of New York, or there's Math by Design and different things like that. So I thought all of them were very interesting to look at for ThinkPort.
Now, obviously, that was a very brief and preview of kind of what the website has, but it looks like it has so much to it that it could be really useful for teachers. Especially, I like how you talked about the new teacher support one. I think that can be really helpful to have a site where you can go to that's going to have all those questions you have running through your mind answered and right there for you.
Yeah, one of the things is because it's specifically a Maryland state application, a lot of them will be a lot of the applications are based off for Maryland teachers, but you can also adapt them if you don't necessarily teach within Maryland.
Right.
I thought when you went to the K-12 classroom tab and you talked about the interactive tools, I thought that was a really interesting thing to have. I noticed that you talked about the create your own museum, and I saw pattern makers.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that would be a really cool thing to use in the classroom. You could use it maybe on the smartboard. You could have it as a center or an activity online that kids could actually have manipulatives online without having to go and search everywhere to find them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing I noticed with the interactive tools is it reminds me a lot of our conversations that we have about new tools that we're looking at, and it gave me ideas that we could use ourselves.
I like the large age range it covers too, like at K through 12. It's not just early childhood.
True. Very.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you're right.
Interesting.
I'll leave it with that.
All right. Great conversation tonight.
Yes, it was.
All right.
All right. See you next